old and having a ton of miles, this car still rips and is pretty fast.
Hey, what is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another video. Today we're talking about 7 quirks of the Sn95 Mustang. If you're new to the channel, my name's Jeff. I love cars, pizza, Blink-182, and Air Jordans. This is my 1997 Sn95 Mustang Cobra. This is a 4th generation Mustang, and for those who may not know, Sn95 is basically just a name for the 4th generation Mustang platform. Similar to Fox Body, which is the name of the Mustang platform that precedes this one. I bought this car last year from the original owner, and currently the car has just over 444,000 miles. As you guys can tell from those opening clips, we are in desperate need of an aftermarket exhaust on this car, which will be coming soon. This is the second Sn95 Mustang that I've owned, the first one being a 95 Cobra. These are really fun cars, but they do have a few quirks. The first quirk I want to talk about is the cup holder, which you can't see because it's hidden. The cup holder is located underneath the center console lid, and to use it, you just got to pull it out like that. And as you can see, it's kind of a quirky, dinky little thing. Most drinks fit in the cup holder, but as you can see, the drinks are not held in securely. They kind of flop around. So there's a can of soda, here's a water bottle, and here's your average drink cup. The location of this cup holder is really awkward because if you're using it, the drink ends up being right where your arm goes. And so that limits your access to the e-brake handle as well as the shifter, which sucks. So you end up having to kind of maneuver your arm around the drink. Sn95 Mustangs were produced between 1994 and 2004. And in 1999, the car received a bit of a refresh and update. Part of that refresh and update entailed a redesigned center console, and 2 cup holders were added right about here, and they were a little more functional and a little less awkward. Those Mustangs that were part of the refresh between 1999 and 2004 are known as New Edge Mustangs. The next quirk I want to talk about is the location of this fog light switch. So to turn the headlights on and off, you just use this knob up here, which is in a pretty traditional location. But to turn the fog lights on and off, you got to come down here to the center console. To me, that doesn't make much sense, and I don't know why they couldn't have just put a switch or button right here next to the headlight knob. It's really weird that they would put light switches in separate locations. Another quirk of the Sn95 Mustang is the rear seats. As you can see, this car has rear seats, but they're not really functional at all. There's not really any room for someone to sit back here, including little kids. I have 4 kids, and it's a struggle to get them back here when they do ride in the car. This is actually a common quirk with all pony cars, such as Mustangs, Camaros, Firebirds. They all have rear seats that nobody can fit in. So it really begs the question of why even have rear seats if they can't be used. The biggest benefit of these rear seats is the seat backs fold down, so you can fit larger items in your trunk. But yeah, again, other than that, it's kind of like, what's the point? The next quirk of the Sn95 Mustang that I want to mention is back here in the trunk. And it's actually a really cool safety feature that these cars have. That red button right there is a fuel shutoff inertia switch that is supposed to reduce the risk of a fire in the event of a major accident or rear end collision. If you're in an accident, that button should pop up, which shuts off your fuel pump. And once the coast is clear, you just push the button back down. I'm sure there are other cars that have this, I'm just not aware of any. And one thing to note is that if you are having issues with your fuel system or having trouble getting the car started, this is definitely one thing you want to check as part of your troubleshooting. You want to make sure that this switch hasn't shut off your fuel pump. Pay no attention to my dirty engine bay, guys. Cleaning this is part of my spring cleaning to-do list. The next quirk I want to talk about is the hood prop rod. To my knowledge, all Sn95 Mustangs have prop rods for the hood as opposed to lift supports. This is something that's kind of old school, and I'm surprised that Ford didn't use lift supports for the hood. They're using them on the trunk lid, so why not the hood? And interestingly enough, prop rods were being used on Mustangs even beyond the Sn95 generation. At one point, I owned a 2006 Mustang GT, and that car had a prop rod instead of lift supports. I think it took Ford way too long to start using lift supports in place of prop rods. I mean, the oldest car I have owned is a 1986 Camaro IROC Z, and even that car had lift supports. My 89 C4 Corvette has lift supports. I owned a 1992 Camaro, and that had lift supports. My 1995 Camaro Z28 has lift supports, and it's weird that Sn95 Mustangs don't. I think it's safe to say that one of the features of the Sn95 Mustang that makes it recognizable is the side scoops. And a lot of Sn95 Mustangs have hood scoops as well. And another interesting quirk is that none of these scoops are functional. Not even on the top dog Mustang like the Cobra. I have heard that the side scoops on the 94 and 95 model year Mustangs are functional, but the side scoops on my 95 look exactly like the side scoops on this car, and the side scoops on this car are definitely not functional. I think any car guy would agree that functional scoops are awesome, and it would have been nice if Ford could have made these scoops functional in some way. They're still kind of cool though. I guess I would probably rather have them there and not functional than not have them there at all, because they do make the car look better. And the last quirk I want to mention is the exhaust. There are some Sn95 Mustangs that come with 6 catalytic converters. That is obviously insane, and I can't imagine why a car would ever need 6 catalytic converters. Also, I believe that all Sn95 Mustangs with dual exhaust have 4 O2 sensors. Mine does for sure, and I recently had to replace all of them, and it was pretty fun having to buy 4 of them. So that's pretty interesting. There you go, guys. There's 7 quirks of the Sn95 Mustang. Despite the quirks that these cars have, they're still awesome. Now, I know that there are little differences and nuances from year to year throughout the Sn95 generation, and some of the quirks I've mentioned only apply to certain years, but I think that what I've mentioned in this video is a pretty good representation. If there are any others that you guys feel are worth mentioning, please drop them in the comments below. Yeah, again, we need an exhaust bad. That is going to do it for this video, guys. I want to thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please smash that like button. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.